Hey everybody, wilderness enthusiast here with Pete Smoke in Isla, Saskatoon. It's mid-October 2023 up here in northwest Minnesota, and my buddy Steven and I are planning on entering the Boundary Waters this Saturday for a 5-day trip. And as I was putting the gear together, I figured why not do a quick video for people that are interested in visiting the Boundary Waters or similar areas in those cooler months. So April, May, later September into October, perhaps early November, depending on the year. And within those months, the weather can be a little bit more unpredictable. You know it's going to be cold. The forecast for us is calling for highs in the mid 40s and lows right around freezing every single night. So what we'll do today is just go through the gear that I am bringing for myself and Steven. Of course, he's going to be bringing his personal gear, his own tent, and a couple meals as well that he dehydrated. So we'll go ahead and get started. If Pete will let me take a little break here. What I have is a very lightweight 3-person tent, and that'll be for myself, Pete, and Isla. I have a 3-liter water filter that you simply just fill up at the lake's edge and hang from a tree or a branch and filter into your bottles. Pete, come on, go buddy. What we are doing on this trip is quite a bit of fishing and grouse hunting as well. This year it's phenomenal for rough grouse production. I'm assuming we're going to encounter spruce grouse as well in the Boundary Waters. But the first day, at least for a day or two, we're going to be targeting large northern pike. So we have our rods. And I'll bring in a little cooler. And within that cooler, we're going to have smaller minnows for jigging walleye. But I picked up 3 packages of these alewives, and we'll basically fish from shore on the first lake that we camp on, and we'll hook those up to quick strike rigs that you would typically use ice fishing. But if you take a weight and one of these right here, you hook that up to the alewives and cast it out and just kick back and relax at camp and wait for the line to start getting pulled out, and that's when you know you got a big pike on. So we're hoping to get into some nice pike on this trip. As far as the meals go, typically on these trips we I don't know, it seems like your appetite isn't there like it would be normally throughout the working week, and typically we'll just have, you know, a little snack for breakfast, get going paddling, doing whatever we're going to be doing, and then we'll have a decent lunch. So I have packed some freeze-dried mountain houses, and I made some dehydrated macaroni dehydrated macaroni with spaghetti sauce, and dehydrated potatoes. And we're doing a wild game challenge this trip. So for dinners, we're bringing some sides. So I dehydrated some rice and peas here, and we're going to be relying on our hunting and fishing skills to provide the grouse or fish, whether it's northern pike or walleye. So the pressure is on, but I'm confident that we can seal the deal. I do pack some of the electrolyte packages to mix with water, especially on these long days. I think on day number 2, we're planning on paddling close to 20 miles, and we'll have 10 portages, so we'll be pretty played out after that. And then the 3rd day, we'll be doing some moose shed hunting. Of course, I'm going to go moose shed hunting on these trips if I have the opportunity, and that'll be a long, drawn-out day. So good to get those electrolytes, stay hydrated, you know. I always, you know, whether it's spring, summer, fall, I always like to bring Ziploc bags. You never know when that's going to come in handy. If we're out walking around the woods doing some grouse hunting, if we're fortunate enough to harvest a grouse, we can clean it up and put it into a bag rather than hauling the entire carcass around. For cleaning, I bring a fillet knife. I use that both for the rough grouse or spruce grouse and any fish that we may catch. Pocket knife I'll have on me at all times. There's pliers in there as well, so you can take hooks out of the fish mouth, that sort of thing. I'm bringing a jet boil, but our primary source of heat is going to be this little Peak 1 Coleman stove that I picked up at Walmart for like 15 bucks. I'll bring 2 containers of butane propane mix, and that should be plenty enough to get us through the entire trip. We'll probably cook some meals over the fire. Breading for fish and grouse. For the days that we are doing the moose shed hunting, Steven and I won't be together, so we'll each take a walkie-talkie and plan on checking in at 10 a.m. at 1 p.m. just to make sure that everything is going well. And on that note, I do have a personal beacon locator in case something were to happen. Again, we're traveling in late October. Water temperatures are way down. If something were to happen, my Pete and Isla, they are very good in the canoe, but you never know. Something might happen where they jump out, canoe gets unstable, somebody falls in. The water temperatures are getting down there. If there were to be an emergency, last case scenario, we can use this beacon to send up an emergency signal. Well, hopefully that's not the case. I have, I'll bring a couple power banks in for charging cell phones or our light sources, or a speaker when we're sitting around the fire at night. We're listening to some tunes, so we have 2 power banks and then a solar charger as well. Of course, you got your typical stuff that you would bring in the summertime, your pots, pans, dishes, forks, first aid kit, and a towel, maps for the areas that we will be going. And as far as sleeping at night within the tent, I bring this little roll up for the dogs to sleep on, and as you can see here, they're modeling their vests and they will sleep in those, and they stay pretty toasty and warm. As far as myself, I have an air pad. It's important when it's cold to keep that barrier between you and the ground, because that will just zap the warmth right out of you. And it might be goofy, but what I sleep in next to Isla, I have my summer sleeping bag, which is, it packs up real small, it's lightweight, and then I'll wear this at night. It's an Eddie Bauer onesie, and again, it packs up real small. It's down, it's super warm, and it might be goofy, but you know what? It keeps you warm. It's all good. And then I also have a pair of socks and then a hat that are my designated sleeping clothes. So those stay in dry places all the time. They don't get wet. And again, the main thing is that they're okay. I'm back. My battery just died in the GoPro. That's why we bring multiple ones on these trips, and chargers. So anyway, we just got done talking about what I wear when I'm sleeping, and then as far as extra clothes go, I'll bring several pairs of extra socks, underwear. I'll bring a hat that I don't wear sleeping. This is just for when we're out and about. A couple pairs of lightweight pants, and I will be wearing this on the way in. So I got a lightweight polyester shirt, this Patagonia jacket, and then insulated pants. So I'll have 2 extra pairs of pants, and then a lot of layers that I can add or remove. So I'll bring a couple shirts, and then a pair of long johns, and then another hoodie lightweight shirt as well. And then when we're hanging out around the fire at camp in the evenings, if it is chilly, I can always throw on this heavier Patagonia jacket. And you know what, I really do recommend these. They pack up super tight, there's nothing to them, and they definitely keep you warm. Outside of that, I guess, of course, we have the dog food, and I'll have 2 dry packs with me, along with a pack frame. And that pack, the only reason I'm bringing that pack frame is because I will be doing moose shed hunting for a day or two, probably bushwhacking up to 2 to 3 miles away from the campsite. And having that pack frame makes all the difference. If you were to get into some moose antlers, it helps out a lot. So hopefully, fingers crossed, we get into some pretty good good shed hunting on this trip. So that's about everything. That is not the life jacket that I'll bring. The one that I'll bring is at the hunting shack, so I'll pick that up on my way to Ely. And then as far as the grouse hunting goes, I'm bringing a little 410, and it's just a single shot gun, and I'm bringing 7.5 shot 3-inch, and that's pretty good for grouse. Typically, the grouse aren't very educated. They haven't seen other hunters. What's going to happen is the dogs, he's already getting excited. Good boy. So the dogs will flush the grouse up into a tree, and then I can get close enough with the 410 to knock him down, hopefully. So that's the gun. It's lightweight. Good option for a trip like this. I'm not going to haul around my big 12 gauge. And then as far as paddling goes, so this is a little bit different. Steven and I will both be using, there's no bird, bud. So we'll both be using kayak paddles, and you know, whatever, to each their own, but the amount of ground that you can cover using kayak paddles, you just can't compete with regular canoe paddles. And if you were to go this route, basically what you're looking for is the longest paddle that you can find, so then you're not hitting your hands on the gunnel when you're paddling along. But we can get into a pretty good rhythm with this, and like I said, on day 2 we have close to 20 miles to cover, and the days are shorter, and you know, we like spending time out in the woods chasing grouse and doing that sort of thing. So I'll justify these all day long. All right, I hope you enjoyed the video, and yeah, if you have any questions, just drop them down there in the comments, and I hope to post the video from our trip in about a week and a half. So we'll see how it goes. It's going to be a fun adventure. All right, we'll see you later.